Good afternoon, my name's Sam Davis.
Hello, Andrew Morgan.
And we're at the Vitality Stadium, and what's on the menu today?
AFC Bournemouth versus Burnley.
AFC Bournemouth versus Burnley. Hopefully you can hear us over this loud music. We've just been to Harvester and we've had our lunch from the new menu. By the way, we're not sponsored by Harvester. It was a new menu, wasn't it, Andrew? What did you have?
Lump steak or the trimmings.
Rump steak or the trimmings. You may have to speak up a bit.
And
yeah.
Chips as well.
Chips as well. Was it tasty?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. So we've left the Cooper Dean and we're now at the Vitality Stadium. We're here earlier today. It's been an interesting week in the world of AFC Bournemouth, and it's been bits of brand new news about the training complex, Andrew, hasn't there?
Yes.
And they've now got permission, haven't they, to build the training complex at Camford Magna?
Yes.
And it's going to involve a lot of pitches. Have you heard how many pitches it's going to be?
10 or 13.
Yeah, there's going to be 10 outdoor pitches, full size, one artificial pitch indoors, one artificial pitch outdoors, state-of-the-art facilities, and the whole of the AFC Bournemouth setup's going to be there, from the first team going right down to the under 16s, under 18s, all the youth squad. Yeah, even this team, so they can be training there. So that's really good news, really positive for Bournemouth, because I put on Twitter earlier on this week, despite having the temporary highs and lows of winning, like we kind of feel as though we're in a limbo. So it's nice that we're actually going somewhere as a club. So obviously it's been on Sky Sports News and BBC News have been tweeting about it, and fans of other clubs have been coming on saying, what about the stadium? You're a tin pot stadium, 11,000 people, all that stuff. But
we won't be much longer like that.
Exactly, not much longer, because at the end of the day it has to happen in two stages. If the stadium is going to be where it's going to be on the athletics track, a hefty portion of that is going to be used up by the current training facility, so we need to relocate before anything could possibly happen there. So the team news is just coming through now, so shortly we're going to see what's going on the pitch.
Yeah.
So team news has come in at the Vitality Stadium. Somehow Begovic has kept his place. I don't know what he's paying Eddie, but he's managed to keep his place. And Boric is on the bench again, Andrew. In defence we've got Nathaniel Klein, Chris Mepham, Nathan Ake and Adam Smith is back in, which is good. In midfield, Brooks, Lerma, Gosling and Ryan Fraser. Interesting news about Ryan Fraser that Andrew's going to give you in a minute. And Callum Wilson and Josh King. Ryan Fraser, apparently he's not signed his contract. How many years has he got left on his existing contract?
1 year.
And he's been offered it twice apparently, and he's not signed. Some say he's been keen for Eddie and Jason to tie down their long-term deals, because obviously he likes working with Eddie, he likes working with Jason, but he's also had interest from a Premier League club.
Which is Arsenal.
Arsenal, do you reckon they'd pay him more?
I do.
They probably would. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we can still get the best out of him. We don't know how long he's going to be an AFC Bournemouth player for. However, there's going to be interest over the summer from Brooks, Wilson, also Nathan Ake, obviously too. So we're going to move on to our predictions, Andrew. What are you thinking for today's game?
I reckon it's going to be still 3-1.
3-1. Have you got any idea on the scorers?
3 to Bournemouth, 1 to Burnley.
But who's going to score? He's not that close, but he's worked out the scoreline 3-1. I'm going to go for the same margin, 2-0, and I reckon Brooks will get the score sheet. Callum as well. I think we should. Yeah, we should sew this up today, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
So 3-1.
Yep.
High five. we are, half time. 2-1 to Burnley, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, not a great half, was it?
No.
Begovic at fault for the first goal. Flailed, really. I mean, when he's got his hands in the air, he's taller than everyone else by a country mile. Even though they've got tall players, and I don't know how he just mistimed his jump. And then Burnley made it 1-1. But we took the lead.
Yeah.
It was a Nathan Ake header that got deflected over the line by Ashley Barnes, and then Chris Mepham with a horrendous clearance. Gifted Burnley with a second. It was the two Woods. It was Westwood and Wood for Burnley, but they've had 2 shots, 2 goals. We've had 4 or 5 different chances, haven't we?
Yes.
And unfortunately, our shots have been fairly tame, but. We've been losing the ball in the middle too much, unfortunately. So your 3-1 prediction, sadly, is not going to happen today, mate.
I've changed it.
Ah, okay, go on then.
3-2.
3-2 to Bournemouth.
Yes.
Okay, so we're not facing the North Stand in the second half. How do you think that would affect the players? Do you reckon it will?
I reckon it will.
You reckon it will? Because they're used to shooting towards the north their stand, aren't they?
Yes.
But shooting towards the south stand, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know. Burnley are very direct, contrasting styles of football, hoofing it a lot. But sometimes we really struggle against direct teams, don't we? And that's what's happening today. It's 2-1. Fingers crossed we can pull it back in the second half. It needs to be a much improved performance, but. Yeah,
I can't see it happening.
He can't see it happening, nor can I. We are in the car on the way back, and final score, Andrew?
3-1 down.
3-1, and we actually left a little bit beforehand, and it was not a pretty game, was it?
No.
I mean, but you had a bit of excitement in the second half, didn't you, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah, biggest sneeze ever, eh?
Yes.
That was basically the best part of the second half. He did a worldie.
Yes.
And
it nearly blew Lucy off the seat.
And it nearly got Lucy off the seat as well.
World record.
Guinness World Record. Anyway, so final score 3-1. Bournemouth were just not at the races whatsoever.
No.
That's the full-time alert that's just come through now.
Yeah.
Left here, yeah. I'll give you my view on it, and then we'll go to Andrew. None of our players were at the races at all today. Full of individual errors. As much as Lucy's going to hate this, Begovic had a terrible game. Boric needs to be reinstated. I know Boric isn't exactly, Mr. Brilliant sometimes. However, his timing is so much better in all departments, including jumping, catching, distribution. Begovic, I thought, for the third goal that Burnley scored, where, the referee, it looked like it went off for a throw-in. However, the linesman didn't agree, and then Begovic spilled it, and then it was an easy third for Burnley. Lucy's a big fan of Begovic, so she's not going to agree with me, but based on his performance, he was awful. Also, again, as we said, Chris Mepham, not great. Dan Gosling, terrible. Eddie Howe, tactically, you kind of wonder what he's doing. After 70 minutes, he takes off Gosling. Fair enough, he had a bad game. There was not a centre midfielder on the pitch. We throw, Solanke on, our shape goes to pieces. Rico still hasn't shown me anything good in a Bournemouth shirt so far. Nathan Ake, he's the only person that probably gets a little bit of respect after today. David Brooks didn't have much service. Callum Wilson and Josh King looked lost up front. Not many positive things to say. Burnley are one of those teams in the Premier League, straight on. Burnley are one of these Premier League teams that are renowned for being direct and not very pretty. Stoke were that team for a long time, but Burnley have taken that kind of ugly mantle, and they do a job. They're very physical, and they did what they had to do, and they're going to be staying up for yet another season in the Premier League. Sean Dyche tactically got it right, Eddie Howe got it wrong, I thought, today. But anyway, that's my view. Andrew, you're not very happy, are you?
No. Also, I reckon, like I said to Love before, going back in the previous match, the ref needs to go definitely.
Yeah. Well, the referee. They the keeper Heaton constantly, taking it from the other side of the penalty area after it was a goal kick, wasting time. Free kicks, they were taking ages, players going down. But then, that's what you would do if your team were 2-1, 3-1 up. So, what's your next game, mate? Fulham. Surely we should be getting a result against them, you would think.
Yes.
Yeah. We won't do predictions now, but would you change anything, mate?
One thing I would change is the access was disabled.
Yeah, so tell me about what happened, because you got in. I mean, obviously your seat is usually row A. You're in row B this time, is that right?
Yes.
And what happened?
I couldn't get up steps.
Yeah. Well,
that wasn't the issue.
Yeah. Well, there was a bit of an issue with Andy. With Andrew's seats. He's a wheelchair user, but the seat where he was allocated, B141, didn't have enough space for a wheelchair. It's got a platform at the end, but there was no space for him to sit, so they moved him somewhere else, which was a nightmare because it was a high traffic area. So you were constantly getting bumped into, weren't you?
Yes.
Not great. However, you managed to enjoy the game in the end. Maybe not what was going on the pitch.
No.
You're seeing Eddie Howe at some point soon, aren't you, mate?
Yep.
What are you going to tell him?
All this information.
Which is what?
It was on these videos.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Well. Yeah, we'll send Eddie the link, and hopefully he takes note of some of the things that Andrew's got to say. But has this spoiled your day?
Bit of it has.
What's the best way to get over it? By having a London pride?
Yes.
Yeah. How many you can have? 1 or 2? 3. He's got his 3 fingers up yet again, not for the first time today. But yeah, it was final score: Bournemouth 1, Burnley 3. Up the Cherries.
Please. If you like this video, press like and subscribe.